All right, thank you.
I am ready.
All right. I want to thank the Latino Chamber of Commerce for inviting me once again to speak with all the entrepreneurs because we have something very important to talk about today, and it's the protection of yourself. It's the protection of your company, your business partners, your clients, your family, your friends, and we need to be aware of certain threats out there on the internet that are targeting us. And it's all about cybersecurity essentials for business. My friends, they call me Johnny IT. Since I was young, I would help my friends, my family with their computer problems. And I've made a career out of it as well. Currently, I'm a senior security analyst. And why should you trust me? That's a question that you need to ask yourself whenever you're on the internet, whenever you're utilizing your telephone, your mobile phone, your laptop, your desktop, social media, Facebook, Instagram. You always got to ask yourself, why should I trust what I'm seeing? Why should I trust what this person on the internet is telling me via, email, chat? You don't know who's on the other side of the internet. You may think you know who you're talking to on the internet, but you need to verify and validate who you're talking to, the information that you're telling that's telling you something. So why should you trust me? That should be a question that you should ask yourself. Why should you trust me? Well, let me tell you why. So I graduated from Madison College, the local college here in Madison. I took a 2-year degree as a information technology network specialist. So I know how the internet works. I know how the traffic flows on the internet. I've been working now for 8 years in the mortgage industry, protecting customer information. When you get a loan, when you purchase a home, they're going to ask you for a lot of information. They're going to ask you about your bank account information. They're going to ask you about your social security number, all types of personal information. So it's my responsibility to make sure that type of information is protected when we're helping people reach their dream of purchasing a home. We're asking for a lot of personal information, and we're storing that information, on computer systems. Also, I'm certified. I'm went to take an exam for what's known as a CISSP. What that stands for is a Certified Information System Security Professional. And in order to take that exam, I had to have 5 years experience in the field. So I couldn't just, pay for the exam and take it. I had to have 5 years experience and someone that already had the certification to then endorse me once I passed it. And I have to have continuing education to maintain that certification. So I don't just pass the exam and have the certification. I have to continue my education as well. I practice security in my own life. So I don't just go to work and I don't just practice security at work and then I get home and I stop practicing security. I practice security in my own life as well, whether I'm on the internet, traveling, I incorporate security into my own life as well. Now, why should you care? Why should you care about security? Obviously, we're trying to support ourselves. We're trying to support our family, our community. Why should we care about security? Well, let me tell you why. You want to protect your reputation. You want to protect your brand. All right, you don't want people to try and abuse what you've built, what you've accomplished. You don't want people to take you down. You want to protect your confidential information. Your bank account information, social security number, that personal things about yourself, about your family, about your health. You want to keep all that information private and confidential. You want to protect your identity and your accounts. Because guess what? If someone steals your identity, they're going to take out a loan in your name. You know, they're going to sign up for credit cards. They're going to use your identity to file unemployment claims on your behalf. So even if you're employed, they can take your identity and try and get an unemployment check with your identity, you know, and try and have them deposit the check into one of their bank accounts. This is the type of scams that are going on, especially during COVID and all this thing. They know, the bad guys know that everyone is utilizing the internet for communication, and they're going to try and manipulate you any way that they can. Why else should you care? To protect your customers, protect your business partners. What if you were, you know, what if someone was doing business with you and you weren't protecting yourself and someone, you know, hacked into your computer system or stole your computer and it had all your customers' information, it had all your business partners' information? That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good if you're not making an effort of protecting your customer and your business partner's information. You're also going to save valuable time focusing on your business, because now that you're security aware, you know about the threats that are going on out there, you know how to protect yourself. Now you're going to be making the right security decisions to prevent yourself from being a target. And if you're going to prevent yourself from being a target, then you're going to have more valuable time to focus on your business. And it's all about being aware of the threats, knowing what's out there, the different kind of scams, and asking yourself, should I trust this? Just because you get a message, just because you get an alert, just because you get an email, you can't just blindly trust what you see on the internet. You have to question it. Question what you see on the internet. Question what you see on social media. You know, because especially nowadays, you know, manipulation, that's what's going on. And that's how they do it, through the internet, manipulation. All right. And so, you know, when you watch, you know, like a hack, like a movie about like hackers, you know, on a computer and that kind of thing, you know, you may wonder how companies and people and organizations are hacked. But one of the fundamental ways that the bad guys influence you, manipulate you, is through social engineering, is deception. They're utilizing deception to manipulate individuals into divulging confidential or personal information that may be used for fraudulent purposes. That's what it is. It's nothing technical. You know, it's knowing how to be a good actor. It's how to manipulate someone into making them believe that you're an authority figure or something, to make you give up information, give up your password, you know, give up private information. It's social engineering. There's nothing technical about it. It's a good actor. It's a good manipulator. And, you know, social engineering is the clever manipulation of the natural human tendency to trust. We want to trust people, you know, but unfortunately there's people out there that want to take advantage of us and, you know, take something from us. So, you know, here's a couple examples of social engineering or impersonation. Ever since COVID started, like in April, I've been getting all kinds of text messages every single day. Every single day, I get text messages from someone saying, hey, do I want a loan? Do I want a job? Do I want to work from home? You know, or I'll get a text message where it'll be like, oh, do you want to work for Coca-Cola? We'll give you $500 every single week if you want to put a Coca-Cola advertisement on your car, and we'll give you $500. That's a scam. That's social engineering. Some other things are wire fraud. So think about it. Think about if you're buying a home. Sometimes when you're buying a home, you gotta pay a down like a down payment, you know. So maybe you might have to pay, you know, it depends. You know, maybe sometimes you're buying a home, maybe you got to pay 20%, or maybe you got to pay 5% or 3%. But guess what? There's bad guys that want to steal your down payment. Sometimes you got to go to the bank and initiate a wire transfer from your bank account. The bad guys know that in the real estate industry, in the mortgage industry, or even in any industry, it doesn't even matter, any industry where people are trying to wire funds to send a transfer between bank accounts, the bad guys know this and they want a piece of it. They want a piece of the money. They want a piece of the pie. And they're going to try and figure out a way to get in between that wire transfer and send your wire to a different bank account to try and fool you, to try and socially engineer you, manipulate you. Here's another thing, unauthorized payroll changes. Guess what? At the mortgage company, sometimes there may be somebody trying to impersonate an employee, and they'll send an email to the payroll department and say, hey, I got a new bank account. I want to change my routing number and account number. I want you to start paying me my, you know, deposit of my payment into this new bank account. That's another way of impersonation. Sometimes people will create a free account with Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo. How easy is it to make an email account? It is very easy to make an email account. And if it's very easy to make an email account, guess what? People are going to abuse that and make impersonation email accounts, and they're going to start emailing other people to try and socially engineer them, to try and manipulate them into changing the direct deposit information of where your payroll check goes into a different bank account. That's another way of social engineering as well. Another thing that we'll see is someone that creates an email account to impersonate an executive, the CEO, and ask for the W-2s of all the employees. So if someone falls for that and sends all the W-2s, the tax forms, to the threat, to the scammer, then guess what? Now that person can try and file taxes on your behalf. You know, if they steal all the W-2s of the company, they're going to do all types of things. They're going to try and rob your identity. They're going to try and file taxes on your behalf to get a tax refund. That's another thing that they'll do. Here's another example of something that they'll do. Fake manager. You know, someone will create an email account to pretend to be your manager, and then they'll send you an email, and they'll say, oh, I'm in a meeting right now, but it's my daughter's birthday. I'm in a meeting. I can't call you, but it's my daughter's birthday. Can you go down to Walgreens? Can you go down to CVS? Can you get some iTunes gift cards? Can you get some Google Play gift cards? I need a couple hundred of them. Why don't you send me $500 worth of iTunes gift cards? You know, that's a scam. That's impersonation. Or another variation of social engineering is a family member stuck somewhere. I'm stuck in the Philippines. I got locked up. I'm in jail right now. Someone robbed me. I need you to send me Western Union. I need you to send me $500. You got to pick up the phone. You got to pick up the phone and validate who you're talking to. You can't trust instant messages. You can't trust email. When it comes to that type of sensitive information, sensitive transactions, sometimes it's best to verify and validate with someone face to face, or pick up the phone and call them. Call someone that you trust, someone that you've communicated with before, and validate things. You cannot trust the internet. So, I mean, here goes an example right here. Here goes an example email. Pretending to be the CEO. Do you have some free time? You know, they'll try and see if you're available. They'll try and set it up to see if you're available. And then if you reply back, yeah, I'm available, I'm here. Then they'll follow up with another email and be like, hey, I need you to, I'm in jail. Send me Western Union. It's my daughter's birthday. I'm in a meeting. You know, anything. They'll get creative. They'll get creative. So I mean, it's always changing. It's always something different. But at the end of the day, you have to question what you're seeing. You can't trust it. What else? There's a fake one from Bill Gates right here. Uh, I mean, it doesn't even make sense. I bid you greetings. So I mean, think about it. The way a lot of these, the way some of these emails, if you read them, then you know that like English is not their first language. I bid you greetings. You know, I bid, that's weird. And then, you know, capital letter, it's not even capital. I have an important overturn for you. Like sometimes you could tell that English is not even their first language, but they're getting better. They're getting better. So, you know, even though there might be misspellings and capitalization errors and weird words, it's not always going to be that way. They're getting more intelligent. They're getting better at their crime. They're getting better at their fraud. All right. So let me tell you about another concept. So we've been talking about social engineering. We've been talking about manipulation. We've been talking about good actors that can manipulate you. So let's talk about phishing. What is phishing? So we know in Wisconsin, you know, it's almost winter time. And we know that people like to go fishing. So we know like out there in the Monona Terrace or John Nolan Drive, you know, once that lake starts to freeze, then people are gonna drill a hole in the ice and they're gonna go fishing. Well, you see, this is a little different. This fishing is PHISHING. So it's a little different. The bad guys, what they're fishing for is your password. They want your password to get into your email account, to get into your bank account, to get into your utilities, to get into your Western Union, into your Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. They want your password. They want to fish for your password. So this is what the bad guys are doing. They're sending emails. They're sending you an email impersonating legitimate companies, impersonating legitimate brands, people, in order to manipulate you, to reveal personal information, to reveal your password, your credit card numbers, your social security number, you know, your address. You know, they want to steal your identity. They want to steal everything you got. And that's what they're going to do. One way is they're going to send you an email to, you know, try and phish you, get your password. You know, click here, click this link and type in your information. You know, type in your password. That's what they're after. They're after your money, they're after your identity, and then they're after everyone you know. Because if you get compromised and they have all your information, then guess what? They probably got your contacts. And then guess what? Now they're going to impersonate you and they're going to go after your contacts next. Your family, your friends, your business partners. So this is how valuable your email account is. All right, someone accesses your email account, they got your password. Well, what do you got connected to your email account? You got bank accounts, you know, financial stuff. What else do you have connected to your email account? Well, I mean, you got your Facebook, Twitter, Macy's, Amazon, iTunes, Skype, you know, Netflix. What else do they have access to? Well, they got access to your messages, your calendar, your contacts, your call records, your location. You know, so what else are they going to do? Well, they're going to look in your email. They're going to look at your contacts. You know, they're going to look at your files. You know, if you have any files saved in your email account, your Dropbox, you know, all that information. What else are they going to know about your employer? So now guess what? Oh, now they know about your employer? Well, guess what? Now they're going to probably email your employer and try and change your payroll. They're going to try and say, oh, you know what? I got a new bank account. I got a new routing number. I have a new account number. I need you to deposit my check to this new bank account. So you see how powerful your email account is. Your email account is connected to all this stuff right here. And if someone gets into your email account, then you could have a real bad day if they start going through all your stuff and trying to steal your identity and go after your business partners and your contacts. So here goes an example of a phishing email. Some of these things I crossed off, but I'll just show you something. So we got an email here. It was sent June 30th at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This was one where they were trying to target the mortgage company. They were trying to target one of our employees to give up their password. So some of this stuff I crossed out, but you see that the email it was sent from a person named Ron, but then they also sent it to themselves. That's one clue. That's a clue of a phishing email right there. Why is someone going to send an email from themselves and to themselves, but you don't see anyone else's name? That's because you weren't the only target. Usually when they're sending these phishing emails, they don't just send it to you. They send it to 50, 100, 1,000 other people. So they're trying to cover up that they sent it to hundreds or thousands of people because they sent it from themselves, they sent it to themselves, but you don't know, you don't see your name here. So you don't know how you got it or why other people got it. That's one clue right there. And then you see this link, review closing document. They want you to click this link. They want you to go to the web page and type in your password. So that's an example of a phishing email, specifically one that was sent to the mortgage company. Here goes another example right here. This one, July 14th at 11:11 in the morning. It's from a Stephanie, Mech, Florida. But look at this. Then if it's sent from Stephanie, why is it also sent to her? Once again, that's because you're not the only target. They're sending this email to a bunch of other people. They want to try and get everyone's password. So then look, it's from Stephanie, at mechflorida.com, but this doesn't even match. It's not even a match. Stephanie, this one says closer at Caliber Home Loans. So those are the little clues you got to look through. You got to look through these clues to see that it's a trick. It's a phishing email. It's social engineering. They're trying to get your password. Here goes another one. This is like, Dropbox. If you want to store files, you got a bunch of files and you want to store it on the internet, online, or if you want to share your files, then you could, create like a Dropbox account. This is another phishing email. This isn't real. They're just using brands to make it look like, oh, Dropbox. Oh, okay, I know what that is. They're just using images and brands to make it look familiar, to make it look like, oh, okay, yeah, this looks familiar. I trust it, but no. This is another phishing email. Access file here. They want you to click the link to give up your password. This is where like Dropbox, this looks weird. Dropbox, hollyccmec.com. Look at this, is blank. Once again, this is another strategy. You see the 2 is blank because they sent it to more than one person. You're not the only target. So those are the clues you gotta look at and question. Here goes another scam. Sometimes you're on the internet on your desktop or your laptop, and then all of a sudden you get this pop-up that says, oh, Microsoft support. Please type in your username. Please type in your password. Suspicious activity detected. So whenever someone's asking for your information, whenever someone's asking for your password, whenever someone wants your name, your address, your social security number, your driver's license number, you got to question that. They're either trying to steal your identity or they're trying to access your accounts. So this isn't real. This is manipulation. This is social engineering. This is a scam. This is fraud. That's not real. So, how big of a problem is this? How big of a problem is people accessing corporate, commercial bank accounts in the United States, in the world. It's a problem everywhere. It's not just mortgage and real estate, it's all industries are targets. Anywhere where there's money being moved around, where there's sensitive information being stored, like your social security number, your financial statements, everybody's a target. So let me show you something. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? This is a public service announcement. So let me show you something. May 4th, 2017, business email compromise. That's what they call it. When somebody hacks into the email account of a corporation or an enterprise or a business, it's called business email compromise. And guess what? May 4th, 2017, how big of a problem was it? $5 billion back in 2017. And that's only reported. All right. So if people didn't report it, then it's not a part of this number. But 2017, the people that reported it, $5 billion scam. July 12th, 2018, the same report a year later, business email compromise, the $12 billion scam. Okay, so we just went from 5 billion, a year later, 12 billion. September 10th, 2019, business email compromise, the $26 billion scam. So we go to 5, 12, 26. So it's a problem for everyone, including us. This was one of the things that they said in the report right here. Real estate sector targets. The bad guys heavily targeted the real estate sector. Victims participating at all levels of a real estate transaction have reported such activity. This includes title companies, law firms, real estate agents, people that are buying a house, people that are selling a house. Victims most often report a spoofed email being sent. What is a spoofed email? It's social engineering, it's impersonation, it's manipulation. That's basically what it is. Spoofing is impersonation, pretending to be someone that they're not. And since people trust emails so much, they don't bother to pick up the phone and call somebody that they trust to verify, or go see someone face to face and verify. We're trusting email communication too much without verifying something through another means. So now here you go. Here goes the problem. Business email compromise. That's what we need to know about, to recognize it, and then be able to protect ourselves against it. So let me just break down business email compromise to you real quick. I'll break it down real simple. They send you a phishing email. So remember that example of a phishing email. You receive an email and maybe it says it's from Wells Fargo or from Latino Chamber of Commerce, someone impersonating somebody that you trust, but it's not really them. They're social engineering. They're trying to manipulate you. So you thought you could trust that email. You clicked on the link. You typed in your password. All right. So you typed in your password. And then you know what? This is what you did. You typed in your password into the website. Well, guess what? Now you gave your password to the bad guy. Now they got access to your email account. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to monitor your inbox to obtain information about your business, about your invoices, your payments, all your financial details, right? They're monitoring all that stuff once you give up your password. And then guess what? Now they're going to try and figure out who your contacts are. They're going to try and get in between those wire transfers, those business transactions. And they're going to try and get in between the money and take the money. That's what it is. Business email compromise, accessing all the private, confidential details of your organization and your transactions. This chart right here is basically the same thing. You know what? They got your password. Now guess what? Now they're looking inside your email account for high value transactions. And then they're going to try and, create a purchase order and target your customers to, steal money. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Accessing your company account to see what kind of transactions and stuff you got going on. So then they can figure out a way to steal that money. So here goes an example right here. Look at this. December 20th, 2019. So remember how we were talking about when you have someone that wants to buy a home? Sometimes if you want to buy a home, sometimes you got to put down a down payment. And at that point in time, it's called the closing. That's like the closing, when it's time to close on the home. But, you know what? I might have to put down a down payment. So this is an example of a bad guy that is targeting someone like you and I who are interested in buying a home, but we got to put down a down payment. So here's the bad guy sending an email to the client. And this is what the bad guy is saying. To avoid closing delay, we need you to wire $12,607 today. We need you to wire this money today, $12,000. But this was a scam email. This was a scam email where they were going to then try and send you wire instructions that have a different routing and account number. So that way, if you didn't pick up the phone to call somebody you trust, if you didn't go see someone face to face, if you just walked into the bank and they gave you some routing and account number information and you decided to go to the bank and wire $12,000, but you didn't validate it, guess what? If you found out a week later that you sent the money to the wrong place, kiss that money goodbye. That money's gone. Okay, you got to act. If you found out that you got scammed out of the money and you go to the bank and you wire some funds, if you don't go back to the bank the same day, the longer you wait, if it's a week later, that money's gone. Good luck to try and recover that money. But fortunately, look, the client ended up sending an email and said, oh, talk about wire fraud. Look what got emailed to me on Friday. Thankfully, it went to my spam filter, but if I hadn't noticed the email was different, I might have considered it. So there you go, trusting email too much, trusting the internet too much. Fortunately, this person knew to question what they were seeing, to question it, and to call someone or to connect with someone that they trust via face-to-face or, telephone. So look at that. This person, thankfully, did not fall for this scam. Otherwise, they would have possibly lost $12,000. Wouldn't have been good. So how do you protect against it? How do you protect against business email compromise? So think about it. So how do you get into your house? You got a set of keys, right? You can't just walk up to the door and open the door. You have some keys. So think about it. What's the key to your email account? The key to your email account is your password, right? But what if you required more than one key? What if only a password to your email account wasn't enough, but you needed something else to access your email account? That's called multi-factor authentication, because it's no longer something that you know. What you know is your password, right? But multi-factor authentication is something you know and something you have. So now you got two things. You got a password, and now maybe you got your phone where you could generate a code. That's multi-factor authentication. You're no longer just using one thing, which is your password, but now you're using multiple things. You're using your password and something else. It's stronger than just passwords. Think of it as a door with multiple keys. And so yeah, multi-factor authentication. Normally when you access your email account, it's like a password. or a PIN. But think about it. Think about the ATM. When you go to the bank, you want to withdraw some money. You can't just walk up to the ATM machine and say, hey, give me $100, right? What do you need? You need two things. You need your debit card and you need your PIN. So you already know about multi-factor authentication. You use it all the time. You already know about this concept. The concept of multi-factor authentication is something you do when you go to the ATM and you withdraw money, because it's something that you know, your PIN, and it's something that you have, your debit card. So you go to the machine, insert into the machine, put your PIN. That's multi-factor authentication. It's the same idea of protecting your email account. You know, now, you know, if you're going into your Gmail account, now not only are you typing in your password, but then you also have an application on your phone where you could generate a code. So guess what? Even if the bad guy has your password, they still don't have possession of your phone. So even if they have your password and they're trying to get into your email account, they still don't have the application on your phone to create the code to complete going into your email account. So that's one way of protecting yourself, your company, your clients, and your business partners. So let me show you something, because here's a problem. Let me just show you something real quick. I want to show you an example. So we all know, you know, Bill Gates, who was like the founder of Microsoft, right? So let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. So this website right here talks about all the different companies that have been hacked. All right, so let's look up Bill Gates. BG, let's see, Bill Gates at Microsoft.com. Because here's the problem. The problem is that we all feel that maybe, you know, we're secure. You know, we take care of our password, we protect ourselves. But here's the thing that you got to worry about. You know, what if you signed up to Amazon? What if you signed up to Facebook? What if you signed up to Instagram? What if you signed up to LinkedIn? What if you signed up to MyFitnessPal? What if you used to play Words with Friends on your mobile phone? Different places get hacked. And if you signed up and subscribed to a service and they got hacked, then the bad guy that hacked that company probably has their password. So let me show you something. For example, let's talk about Bill Gates. We know his email account, right? So let me show you something. Let me show you something here. Something else. So guess what? Back in 2012, Dropbox got hacked. So when Dropbox got hacked back in 2012, guess what? The person that hacked them had all their subscribers. Everyone that subscribed to Dropbox back in 2012, the bad guy has their email addresses and passwords. All right. Let's see what else here. Hotlook, a fashion and shopping site to go, you know, shopping for clothes. They got hacked. And since they got hacked, guess what the hacker got? All their subscribers' date of birth, email address, names, passwords. Let's see what else. Last FM, that's like Pandora. That's like Spotify. They got hacked back in 2012. So anyone that was a subscriber got their email addresses, passwords. What else do we got up in here? MySpace. You know, that's like Facebook. You know, MySpace back in the day. They got hacked. So guess what? The compromised data, email addresses, passwords, usernames. So you got a guy like Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. He was a subscriber to all those services. So even though Bill Gates may protect himself, you got to be worried about all the places that you subscribe to with your email address. Because then if they got hacked, then maybe they'll also have your password. And that's the problem. The problem is if you have your accounts set up and if your password gets leaked out on the internet, that's a problem. That's why you need something like multi-factor authentication active on your email account, your bank account, whatever type of account, chances are they have that feature. You just got to turn it on. You just got to turn on multi-factor authentication. See, so that's what we're talking about. That's an example right there of why having a password is not enough. Because even Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, signed up for different services, and those services got hacked. And now his password is floating around on the internet. So I hope he's not using that same password anymore. And so they have this, we have a lot of passwords that we have to remember, you know? So it's tough because, I mean, think about it. What if we use the same password all the time? What if we're always using the same password for, Western Union, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, your bank account? I mean, that's not good. That's not good to use the same password for everything. Because then what happens if you subscribe to some place? What if you subscribe to some service, like Dropbox, and then they got hacked? Now your password is out there, And then if someone has your password, then they're going to try and see what else you signed up to. And that's a problem. So a solution to that is called a password manager. I use a password manager, and it's a way to remember all my passwords. So then that way I only have to remember one password. And you can put a password manager, like one password manager is called LastPass. You could have it installed on your phone. You could have it installed on your laptop, on your desktop, on your tablet. And you could have a password manager remembering all your passwords. Because I mean, think about it. If you sign up for a service, like think about this, like Alliant Energy or MG&E Energy. Maybe you log into that once a month to pay your bill. But since you log into it once a month, then what? Maybe you forgot your password. So every month when you go to pay MG&E, when you go to pay Alliant Energy, maybe you forgot your password. So now you got to do the password reset. That sends an email to your email account, and you got to reset your password. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, right? Because you don't remember your passwords. That's what a password manager does. A password manager is going to remember all your passwords for you. So all you got to do is remember one password, and you could also protect your password manager with multi-factor authentication. So when you log into your password manager, then all you need is your password, your telephone. So that's a solution. That's another solution right there to think about. Here's something else you got to think about. Back up your files. We have like an iPhone, we got Android phones. There's a setting in there to back up your phone to Apple and the iCloud. If you got an iPhone or an iPad, or if you got like an Android phone, a Galaxy phone or HTC, Motorola, one of the things that when you set up your phone, you set it up to be backed up, because what if you lose your phone? What if someone steals your phone? If you're not backing up your information, then that's all lost. The same thing goes for your desktop or your laptop. Back it up with whatever solution you're comfortable with, whether it be like a little USB drive, like a thumb drive, USB drive, or maybe you could get like a bigger one, a USB hard drive, or using Dropbox, or Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive, to back up your sensitive documents. You need a solution to back up your files, because what if you lose your phone? What if you lose your laptop, your desktop? House catches on fire. You need a way to be able to recover your information. And with the cloud storage, with like Dropbox, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, you can protect those with multi-factor authentication also. So then that way, if someone has your password, they still can't get into those systems, because you can turn on the multi-factor authentication. So that's something to think about. Back up your files, very important. And then after you back up your files, you should update your devices. So let me tell you a story about Equifax. You know, Equifax that has our credit reports, our credit history. You know, if we've been paying our credit card on time, if we've been paying our loan on time, if we've been paying our mortgage on time, if we've been paying our car loan on time. You know, Equifax has a lot of sensitive information about our credit history, social security number, that guess what? If someone hacks into Equifax, then maybe they can steal your identity. If they, you know, if they have access to everything that, if Equifax got hacked and they have access to all your information, then guess what? Then maybe someone can try and take out a credit card in your name, a loan in your name, try and file your taxes on your behalf, try and file an unemployment claim on your behalf. You know, so let me tell you a story about Equifax and why it's so key to update your devices. You know, first we talked about backing up your files. Now let's talk about updating your devices, right? Because what do updates do? Whenever you have an update for your Windows computer, your Apple computer, your Android phone, your iPhone, what's going on? Updates are going to fix security problems, right? They're going to fix security problems. They're going to add and enhance, you know, new features. You know, sometimes you'd have an update, you're going to have like a new feature to enhance your phone, to enhance your computer or whatever. You know, so it's usually like security issues and updates of functionality. So here's the problem. Equifax got hacked. You want to know why Equifax got hacked? They had a website on the internet, and the software that they had for that website, they didn't update it. They didn't update it in time. And since they decided not to run updates and not to run the patches, then a bad guy ended up hacking into Equifax. And then guess what? Equifax got hacked. And what did Equifax do? Equifax said, oh, we're going to give you a free year of credit monitoring to monitor your credit. Why do you want to monitor your credit? Because you want to see if someone is trying to steal your identity to take out a loan, to take out a credit card, you know, file your taxes on your behalf, file an unemployment claim. That's the reason why they were offering the free credit monitoring, because Equifax got hacked. Equifax was not running updates like they should have. And guess what? That impacted everyone. That's a story that I want to tell you that illustrates why it's good to update your devices. So just do it at the end of the day. You know, you're done working, you know, at the end of the day, your computer is saying, oh, I got some updates. Just go ahead, just let it, you know, obviously you want to back up first. You want to back up all your files with whatever method that you choose, but then you want to update your devices, because updates are not just to enhance the software and functionality. It's also to fix security issues. So that's one way to illustrate why it's so crucial to update your devices. So, you know, like Windows, right? You know, like your laptop or your desktop, you know, just let it do it automatically. So whenever, you know, Microsoft or Apple releases an update, just let it do it automatically. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Updates are not perfect. You know, sometimes something will go wrong with the update. But that's the whole point of backing up. As long as you're backing up your files, backing up your phone, backing up your contacts, backing up your photos, you know, then therefore, if something goes wrong with the update, you still have something to rely on and to fall back on. So that's crucial. Back up your files and update your devices to fix security issues and also to get enhancements for new features. What else do you need? You know, antivirus. So if you buy like a new Windows computer, Windows 10, Windows desktop, Windows laptop, it already comes with antivirus. It's called Windows Defender. So why should you care about antivirus? Well, let me tell you something. There's threats out there called rats, remote access Trojan. What if you received an email and you didn't know who the email was from, and it had an attachment, and you opened up that attachment and you got infected with a rat, a remote access Trojan? Well, guess what? Whoever's in control of that remote access Trojan, now they're seeing everything you do on your computer. They're seeing all, see you opening, clicking on things, opening up things on your computer. Maybe they can look at your webcam, see what you're doing, see what you're typing. They can record everything that you're typing. So if you're typing in your social security number, if you're typing in your password, that's what a remote access Trojan is, a rat. It's spying on you. It's spying on everything you're doing. It's spying on your webcam. It's seeing what you're doing. That's why antivirus is so crucial. Here's another reason why antivirus is so crucial. They have threats out there called ransomware. What's ransomware? If you get a weird email with an attachment and you open up that attachment, ransomware is where it locks all your files. So now you got a bunch of files on your desktop and you can't even open them anymore because they want a ransom. They want you to pay money. They want you to give up money if you want to access your files again. That's what ransomware is. So even though you have all your files on your computer, they're all locked up. Now all your files are all locked up. So guess what? You try and open up those files, you can't even open those files because all your files are held under ransom. And guess what? Now you got to pay money just to unlock your own files. So that's another reason why you want antivirus. And nowadays the Windows computers that they sell, Windows 10, it comes with antivirus software. But I mean, here's the thing: we need to be aware of the threats. So if you receive something suspicious, don't just open it. Don't just click the link. Don't just open the attachment. Like we were talking about. Don't trust everything that you see on the internet. So yeah, just because you have antivirus, just because you have multi-factor authentication, you still have to think about what you're seeing and if you can trust it. Here's some additional tips. Google is your friend. Google.com is your friend. All right. You can find a lot of answers out there. Obviously, the Latino Chamber of Commerce is very helpful to support your business and to provide you guidance. So sometimes you got to leave it up to a professional, right? Sometimes, someone that knows about taxes or knows about laws, an attorney or, a CPA or sometimes you got to leave certain things up to the professionals. But, if you're trying to figure out how to repair something, or trying to find an answer, sometimes just searching on Google, searching on YouTube, you're going to find answers and save you money. If you take some time to search on Google, if you take some time to search on YouTube, you may save yourself some money by finding answers out there for, those type of situations that you can handle yourself. That's one tip. Another tip: keep your business and your personal life separate. So it will be my recommendation that if you have a business, create a business email account and leave it separate from your personal email account. So then that way you have things organized. If it's something business related, then it's going in your business email account. If you got something private and personal, leave that in your personal email account. Because then if you use one email account for everything, then it just gets more confusing. And then as the recognition and popularity of your company grows, then guess what? You're going to start becoming a target for social engineering, for phishing emails. And therefore, if you have a separate business email account, it's going to be easier for you to try and figure out, what's real, what's fake, what's suspicious. That would be my recommendation. Keep your business and your personal life separate. And if you no longer use an online service, delete your account. If you used to be a photographer and you opened up an Instagram account and you started putting all your photography, or you're a chef or something and you put all your recipes and your dishes, but maybe that was in the past, maybe that was 10 years ago, you know, maybe you're moved on to other things, you no longer use that online service, there's no point in having it. You can log into that account and say, you know, delete my account, because there's no point in having it if you no longer use it. And if you receive a suspicious text, if you receive a suspicious email, you know, if you have someone on Facebook that all of a sudden, you know, sends you a message and they want to get to know you, you know, here's another scam, romance scam. You know what? You're trying to find love online, trying to find companionship online, you know, romance, that kind of thing. That is social engineering, because then guess what? They're going to try and get you to use your bank account and
Johnny,
your information. Yep.
usually you receive a request in Facebook with a pretty people, right? Like a men's and women's. And the people,
Absolutely.
that's the reason that several people lost personal information, because somebody sent a request and you see a pretty woman and you say, yeah, you accept. This lady is looking for me. And then you have an issue with your Facebook account, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that, guess what? That's called a romance scam, because they want to use you. They want to build a relationship, but they want to maybe use you to take your money, or maybe they want to use your bank account. So then guess what? That same person that's trying to manipulate you and get you into a romance relationship, they may also be trying to accomplish business email compromise. So guess what? When they're trying to steal someone's money and they're trying to send the wire transfer, they may be using your bank account and you don't even know it, because you thought you were talking to someone online trying to get to know someone, but you know, maybe you built a relationship with someone, and now maybe you trust them so much, and maybe, you know, now they have your bank account information. It's because they're trying to use you and your bank account to either steal money from you or to use your bank account to move stolen funds, eventually international, overseas. That's how crazy it is, especially romance scams. You can, you know, you're on a dating website, you better be careful who you're dealing with on there, because it might be an impersonator trying to get you to be an accomplice to fraud, and you don't even know it. You thought you were trying to find love online, but they were up to something else. So yeah, report it. You know, if you get something suspicious on Facebook, Instagram, don't just block them, report it. So then that way that organization can research into it and hopefully prevent other people from being a target as well and shutting them down. And so, I mean, you know, if you have any questions, I have answers. I can answer any questions or do my best to answer any questions that you have. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. It's called Cali Disconnect. So, you know, I try and put posts online to warn you of the different threats. And I'm always happy to answer any questions that you may have. And if I don't know the answer, I'll be more than happy to research into it and try and find an answer for you. So appreciate everyone's attention. And Jorge, back to you.
Okay, okay. Can you please stop the share screen option to the people show up your faces, and maybe we can start to do some question from the incubators and the business owners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
John, we have a question on the chat group. They're asking what type of antivirus do you recommend to the group?
Oh, yeah, good question. Good question. So actually, let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again to show you real quick.
Ahorita John
So,
les va a mostrar el screen para que vean qué tipo de antivirus es el mejor que él recomienda, ¿ok? Para que estén pendientes a su pantalla.
all right, so let's take a look here, because I get this question often, and whenever I get this question, this is where I take people. It's this website right here, and it's called avtest.org. So let me show you something. Some of it's free, and it does a good job. And you know, if you want more features, then sometimes you gotta pay for it. But here, I'll even put this right here. Let me, and I mean, look, they even have it in Spanish. So here, I'll even do this. And put this in the chat for everyone, so you can put this, you know, in your records for review. But there you go, right there. So here, let's take a look, and let me zoom in this real quick. There. So, for example, Let's see here. So, you know, for private users or for companies, so like you could come over, you know, antivirus for Windows. So what this organization does is they just test everything. They just test everything and they see what works and what doesn't. So, I mean, like 6 is the best, like, you know, protection, usability, all this. So like Avast is one that's free. Oh, here, let me see what else here. Annotate. Let me see. Spotlight. All right. So yeah, you know, this one's free. Right here, it's rated, you know, top product, AVG, internet security top product. How about the one that comes with Windows? If you buy a new Windows computer that has like Windows 10, right here. I mean, this one is free. This one is included with Windows right here. Defender antivirus. Look at this. 6 across the board, top product. So, I mean, you don't got to go out and spend a lot of money. I mean, a lot of this stuff is free, right? You know, so some of them are going to be free and some of them you got to pay for them. And this is like the, you know, for home users. This is all the stuff for home users right there. And then, you know, if you're talking about like a company, you know, then you can, you know, they got it for, you know, the Mac and the Windows. So, you know, you could come over here and, you know, they got, so Avast has like a business product or, you know, McAfee, you know, Microsoft, Sophos, Symantec. So, I mean, you have options. You have options and some of them are free. And I put the link in the chat, av-test.org, you know, /ES. I mean, you could even read it in Spanish. So, I mean, there goes the options for you. So hopefully, does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you,
they
John.
did, and they said thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Another question, otra pregunta. Sí, Rosetta, dale. Pregúntalo si quieres en español o en inglés, como quieras, y vamos a ayudar en la translation.
Profesor, no me dio opciones que en español es que lo voy a decir.
Dale como quieras.
La dirección está ahí en el chat para que la apuntes. Ya
Está
te la
en el
leo
chat.
en español. La dirección que él puso es www.ab de Víctor test como de examen test.org diagonal y una S de español diagonal. Él dice que muchas de las opciones ahí son gratuitas, algunas otras usted tiene que pagar un costo. Lo que yo le quiero agregar a lo que John dijo es que los antivirus se vencen, así que aunque usted lo compre, no le va a durar toda la vida. Así que solo para que lo tengan en consideración.
Ya. Pero recuerden también lo que dijo John,
Ajá.
que Windows 10 tiene un antivirus gratuito que se llama el Windows Defender, que hay que activarlo. Mucha gente no sabe cómo activarlo. Hey, John, can you explain a little bit how the people can activate Windows Defender in Windows 10?
Correcto.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, let me see here. Defend, let me see here. All right, here, let me share my screen here real quick. Let's see, where's that thing at? Where's that thing at? Here we go. Let's see. Okay, so, you know, on your Windows computer, you just gotta, you know, like hit like the start menu. You know, you can just like click like this little hourglass right here, and you could just say like security. You just say like security, and then you see right here Windows security, right? So I open up this right here, Windows security, and you see the shield, and it says virus and threat protection, no action needed. So here, let's just click on it, because chances are with Windows, a Windows computer, it's already going to be active. It's already going to be activated. So, you know, then it'll say like, you know, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Defender, antivirus options, you know, so you can make sure that, you know, it's scanning and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. It's just going to, you know, on your Windows computer, you know, you could either click the start button or you could just hit the hourglass and just start, you know, typing in like security. and then, you know, Windows security, and it's going to tell you, like the status. So, you know, it's got like the green check, you know, no action needed. Otherwise, you know, you can always click on it and then, you know, go to the setting to turn it on. So yeah, it's right there.
Easy. It's easy, right?
Yep.
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 Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Another question? Yo, Xochitl, in the chat.
Sí, está otra aquí en el chat, la otra pregunta que preguntan, no sé si yo la puedo responder,
Sí,
pero podemos
no.
dejar a John también que dice
Yeah.
que si el antivirus afecta el rendimiento del equipo,
English,
profe.
en English. Dale.
Oh, John, we have another question on the chat group, and they're asking if the antivirus affect the equipment function, or if the antivirus slow down the equipment, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. That's a good question. And here, let's take a look at something here real quick. Let me just flip this over. Let's see. So when you're looking at this website, here are the three columns that we're seeing. We're seeing, oops, hold on, I zoomed in too much. So we're seeing three columns, right? The first column that we're seeing is protection, right? You know, how good is it protecting you from ransomware that locks your files, from rats, remote access Trojans? So this protection column, obviously that's good, right? It's a 6. So what you're talking about is how it impacts the equipment, you know, because yeah, sometimes if you schedule your antivirus to scan at like 6 p.m., then maybe you might notice your computer being like a little slow. So that's the performance. That's the performance column right here that, I mean, it's at 6. So 6 is like the, you know, the top, the best performance. So like, you know, if you're like, oh, you know, should I use AVG or Avast since those are free? You know, the protection is good. Maybe you might see like maybe like a little minor, you know, performance impact. And then, you know, usability is like, you know, just like how easy it is to use the software products. So, you know, how does it impact your equipment? Maybe, you know, if it's scanning, you may see your computer being a little slower. And also there's a concept known as a false positive. And what does a false positive mean? A false positive is where one of your files is recognized as a virus, but it's not really a virus. Like it's basically a mistake. A false positive is a mistake where your software, your antivirus software, thinks a file is malicious, but it's really not. So those are the two things that you got to worry about. Yeah, sometimes the antivirus is going to impact the performance a little bit. And also sometimes the antivirus software is going to incorrectly identify a file as a virus when it really isn't. So those are the two things to worry about. So yeah, I mean, it depends. As you can see, utilizing this website to help you make a decision on which antivirus software that you want, then that's also what you want to look at. If you're concerned about how it impacts your equipment, you know, if it makes it slower or something, then you'll also want to look at like the performance and usability columns. So that'll help you make the decision on which one you want to choose on how it impacts the performance. So hopefully that answers the question for you.
Sure. Another question is for the Apple computers. The Apple computers coming in with antivirus, or the Apple computers need antivirus as well?
You know, that's a great question. That's a great question. And since I don't normally work on Macintosh computers all the time, here's my point about how Google is your friend. So let's find out real quick. We're gonna find out together utilizing Google. So let's see here. So like Apple OS X antivirus software. So let's take a look. That's a great question. So let's find out. Let's see what the Macintosh has for security. Let's see. You get the most secure version. So let's see. Secure means more secure software. Secure software safely run. Protection. Let's see. This starts, okay, so here. That's a good question. And here goes our answer. It's saying, so this starts with state-of-the-art antivirus software built in to block and remove malware. So it looks like if you have like the latest, the latest updates and the latest software for Apple, it looks like it's going to be built right in. So it looks like similar to Windows. So here, let's do this. Let's see, what antivirus does Mac come with? Here, let's just see here. So here you go, right here. So at least based on this article right here, the Apple website is saying security is built right in. So that's one thing. We're getting this straight from apple.com, straight from the manufacturers. That's what they're talking about. But then this website right here, if you read this right here, it says it does have default security program called XProtect, but at least this website is saying this. Well, see, this is old. No, see, never mind. That's old. Don't trust that. That's like 6 years old right there. So that's one thing. When you're doing your research, you got to question what you're seeing, and you also got to check the date of when it was published. So that article that we were looking at was from 2014. Let's see here. So at least based on Apple.com, or the manufacturers of, the Apple computer, they're saying it's included and is built right in, as long as you have like the latest updates, right? So, making sure you're backing up and updating your software. So as long as you have the most up-to-date one, then yeah, it's going to be included. It's going to be built in. So yeah, the answer to that is yes, it does. They do have their own built-in antivirus software.
But the Apple computer coming with antivirus, or is only the operating system that take the control antivirus feature?
It's coming with it. Based off
O sea,
what there's.
la computadora Apple y los iPhone ya traen incluido en el software la protección. No necesita un antivirus extra.
Okay, perfect. That's the answer.
Yep.
Esa es la
Okay,
respuesta.
y la otra pregunta, the last question that we have in here, John, is how often they need to back up their files?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, why not every day? Why not every day or once a week? I guess it all depends on how often you use your files. If you're constantly updating spreadsheets and documents and, typing letters and typing invoices, presentations, then, why not every day? Otherwise, well, yeah. Well, once a day, if not once a week.
Thank you, John.
I usually use one time per week on Fridays. That's my schedule to back up my files. Okay, adelante Alfredo, pregunte usted directo.
Okay, I have a question, John. Could you show us like the LastPass password manager? Is there something that you can kind of log in to create like a different password every time you generates a different password every time you go to your like Gmail or different like I don't know like your email, your bank account? Is there anything that creates a different password within the app to get access to those accounts?
Yeah, that's a good question. So here, let me do something here real quick. Let's see.
John, the other question that they have is how often they need to change their passwords.
Yeah, we'll answer that one too, for sure. So,
I think it's the last two questions, Xochitl, okay?
So
Perfecto, profe.
All right, so let me share my screen here. Let me show you an example of the password manager, because, like we were talking about, it's good to use a different password for everything, but then obviously it's difficult to remember all your passwords. So here goes my LastPass that I got, in my browser right here. Here goes LastPass. you know, and I got like everything stored in here. So let's say I was signing up for Pandora for the first time. So, you know, I put, Johnny at gmail.com. And since I already have this LastPass installed, I can do one of two things. I can do generate secure password, or I can also do it right here. So you see how LastPass added like this little circle thing. So then I can click that, and then look at that, generate password. So I could, I could fill it in right there, and it's LastPass just decided what my password is going to be, because then LastPass is going to remember my password. So I don't even know what this password is. I mean, it's LastPass is doing all the work for me. So if I was to sign up for Pandora for the first time, then I would just put my email address, then I could generate the password, so look at this password, 143 lowercase c SSIP. It's a random password, but I make LastPass be the one to generate the password, generate secure password. I can even choose all these things, password length, so I can make it an extra long password. And that's how LastPass does it. So then if I was to sign up for Pandora, since I have LastPass installed, then it would offer to save it. And now LastPass is the one that's remembering all my passwords. And it does it for me. So then I just have to remember the password for LastPass. And it would also be good, like we were talking about multi-factor authentication, to also have multi-factor authentication turned on for LastPass. So that way, if someone has your LastPass password, they still can't log in and get all your information, because they still may need, your phone. And who has possession of your phone? Only you. No one else has possession of your phone. So that's why it's talking about 2 keys. It's not just 1 key with your password, it's 2 keys, which is your password and your phone that only you have possession of. So that's how LastPass, generates the password, and then it would offer to save it for me. So that way I don't even have to remember it. And it's a different password for every website. Does that answer the question for you?
Yes, but what about if you have, I guess you can just, if you have like a computer and a phone and you want to log in into Pandora on both devices, you just have to install LastPass on your device as well, right? And it'll transfer all the passwords?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You would just sign in with your email address and your LastPass password. And, if you have the multi-factor authentication enabled, then you could have it, LastPass installed on everything. You could have it installed on your mobile phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, on your desktop, and it's all connected and all remembering your passwords and automatically inputting your passwords for you. So yeah, great question.
Okay. So,
And then the other question, and then the last question was, how often should you change your passwords? My answer to that would be, turn on multi-factor authentication. Turn on multi-factor authentication on your email account. Turn on multi-factor authentication on your bank accounts. Because like we said with Google, right? Google's your friend. So it's not, if I have Gmail you could even just call it like MFA, because that's what it is for short, multi-factor authentication. Gmail, MFA. That's, Google 2-step verification. So it'll like show you, why do you need it, how it works, how it protects you. So it'll walk you through how to set that up on your email account. So that would be my recommendation. Instead of considering how often you should change your passwords, my recommendation to you would be turn on multi-factor authentication. So then that way, if someone has your password, they still need your mobile phone to complete the process.
and download the Authenticator app, right?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the service, but yeah, it'll be like, some kind of authenticator app or Microsoft Authenticator or something. But yeah, I mean, just utilizing Google or, emailing the support of the bank or whatever, they'll tell you and they'll help walk you through it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, great question.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, John, thank you so much for being here tonight. All the people is so happy. I think today all the people understand more how you need to do in your personal computer, business computers, to keep your records safe. Okay, thank you so much. Un aplauso para John, todo virtual, por favor. De agradecimiento por su presentación, excelente presentación. Great information for all incubators. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate
All right,
your
thank
time.
you.
Jorge,
You appreciate
yo tenía una pregunta, Jorge.
¿Quién es?
Mario,
A ver, suéltela de una vez.
Mario, las aplicaciones, por ejemplo, pueden traer también como hackers para hackear las cuentas o algo así.
John, Xochitl, please.
Lo siento, profe.
Yeah,
Dígame.
hey Johnny, somebody asking if the application coming with some kind of virus to hack the customer accounts or no? Any application that you download?
Oh, okay.
Somebody download
man.
some application in in Google or something like that. It's possible to come in with a virus or some.
Sí, profe, algunas aplicaciones que se bajan traen virus. We need to be very careful with downloading the internet.
Yeah. Let me, John, can you answer this question? I know that Xochitl is an expert in security information as well, for sure, but I would like to know something about you.
Yeah, so that's a good question, and so let's think about it in two ways. One way to think about it is you have your desktop and your laptop. That's one kind of, computer system, your desktop and your laptop. And then you also have your mobile phone, which is a different situation. So first off, when we talk about your laptop or your desktop, you have the power to install whatever you want on that computer. So therefore, you have to be very careful of where you're downloading something from, because they might try and have you download something, and next thing you know, you got like a bunch of advertisements and pop-ups on your computer system. So, that's why it's so crucial to have like the antivirus, or question what you're seeing, because with your desktop or your laptop, you have the power to install anything. So you have to be careful, because yeah, absolutely, you can download something and you think you can trust it, but no, you can't trust it. So that's for desktops or laptops. However, for your mobile phone's a little different, because with your mobile phone, if you have an iPhone, where are you going to get software? You're going to get it from the App Store. And if you have an Android phone, a Galaxy phone, then where are you going to download applications? You're going to download it from like the Google Play Store. So with your mobile phone, it's a little different, because when you're going to the Apple, to the App Store, or when you're going to the Google Play Store, they usually do a better job of screening the programs. So if you create a program and then you submit it to Apple or you submit it to Google, they're going to check it out, and they're going to kind of look around and see about your application to see if it has a virus. So when it comes to your mobile phone, sometimes you're a little more protected, because Apple or Google are screening the applications before they make it available on the App Store. But I mean, there's still an opportunity for some things to slip through, so that, you still want to question what you're downloading to your phone. But on your phone, you're a little more protected. You still have to be cautious. But on your laptop or desktop, yeah, you definitely got to be careful, because you got the power to install anything on your computer.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, a un nuevo aplauso, porque ya se iba y tuvimos que traerlo de nuevo. Thank you so much, Johnny Pacheco. Muchas gracias.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
Good night.
Gracias a todos por haber estado aquí. Apreciamos su tiempo. Espero que esto haya sido algo ilustrativo para todos. Si bien es cierto, algunas cosas de repente no se entendieron bien, pero de todas maneras ha llegado un mensaje para la mayoría. El mensaje, las conclusiones de esta noche es, uno, que tenemos que tomar control de la seguridad de la información en nuestras computadoras, tanto en la casa como en nuestro negocio, number one. Y dos, un antivirus. Si usted tiene una desktop, una laptop, un antivirus, puede ser Windows Defender, que viene gratuito con el Windows 10. Ya saben, ya lo escucharon a John. Es fácil bajarlo, es fácil tenerlo. Yo tengo el Windows Defender y tengo otro antivirus adicional, porque uso mucho Internet, navego mucho Internet, y eso ya depende de cada uno, de cada seguridad de cada uno. Cuánto más protección le puede poner a su computadora. Pero definitivamente tenemos que proteger nuestra información, empezando por la personal. Tenemos manejando cuentas, estamos haciendo órdenes online, estamos haciendo pagos, tenemos alguna factura de clientes, etcétera, y por lo tanto nos pueden suplantar.
Oh, nos dio su
Ay.
email del Johnny.
¿Alguien quería,
Mira, aquí está.
quería preguntar algo, perdón?
Sí, era yo, Jorge.
Hacia
Más
adelante.
bien, era una observación a todos los usuarios de lo que son los sistemas de Android. Tengan cuidado en no bajar aplicaciones que no sean exclusivamente de la Play Store, porque si los bajan ya sea por internet o algún link o alguien los comparte o son juegos que son clonados, la mayoría de las ocasiones vienen con virus y pueden quedarse sin sistema operativo.
Sí, eso
A mí
es
me
bien,
pasó
bien
una vez,
importante.
solamente
Bien.
por eso lo comparto. Me pasó hace tiempo, bajé una aplicación que era para tener algo gratis o hacer un poco de cheating en un videojuego y perdí mi celular por eso. Entonces tengan cuidado con
Buenísimo,
eso.
buenísimo. Es muy buena observación. Acuérdense que tanto Windows 10 viene con su app, con su store, es un grafiquito como un maletincito con el logo de Windows que ustedes lo pueden visualizar en su Windows 10. Pueden comprar ahí, es un sitio seguro. Las aplicaciones de Apple, que pueden bajarlas desde del iPad o del iPhone, o las de Android también, que están en bastantes otras marcas de teléfono. Tienen su propio también tienda virtual para comprar. O sea, si van a comprar software online, bájenlas de sitios web garantizados por los proveedores, certificados por los proveedores, para que no tengan ninguno de esos inconvenientes. Ahí hay más propenso que pueda bajar un virus o algo que pueda afectarlos a ustedes. Y realmente estoy muy contento que se hayan mantenido todos hasta el final y creo que, pues, vuelvo a decir, la seguridad de la tecnología la usamos todos y vamos a seguir usándola cada vez más. Aquel que se queda fuera del contexto tecnológico va a estar fuera del mercado. Quiero que lo veamos así, con esa estrictez, y lo felicito por el interés que han tomado en esta charla, chicos. De verdad que sí. Los veo mañana. Cuídense mucho.
Muchas gracias.
Adiós.
Bendición, buenas
Hasta
Dios te
mañana.
bendiga.
Ah,
Bendiciones a todos.
Mañana.
Gracias. Gracias y gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a ustedes. Gracias por estar esta noche. Les agradezco infinitamente.
Muchas gracias, don Jorge. Muy bonita la clase.
Gracias a usted, Hugo. Muy amable. Gracias.
Linda
gracias,
noche,
José.
profesor. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Leti. Cuídense mucho, cuídense bastante, bastante los que quedan. Ya saben por qué, ya no voy a repetir lo mismo, pero cuídense muchísimo. ¿Yo? Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Hola. Señor Jorge.
Sí, dígame. Ronela. Sí, dígame.
Es Ronel.
Sí, dígame, Ronela.
Sí, señor Jorge, ¿cómo haría yo para poder ir a hacer una consulta para que me ayude a hacer las presentaciones?
¿Cómo? Perdóneme, no le entendí bien la pregunta porque se le entendí media.
O sea, ¿cómo puedo hacer para ir a su oficina o así para que me ayude a organizar?
Ya, te voy a dar el teléfono, llámame mañana a mi teléfono, ¿ok? Para ponernos de
¿Me lo
acuerdo.
pasa por correo?
De repente me reúno contigo virtual, si es posible, o si estás por ahí cerca, de repente pasas. Te estoy poniendo el número ahí en el chat para que tú me avises cómo es lo más conveniente. También depende de tu tiempo. ¿Tú tienes mi número o no? Ronela, se cayó la línea, creo. Se le cayó. Ok. Bueno, anyways, muchas gracias, pues Irene y Esther que quedan en la sala. Y pues estuvo muy, muy interesante realmente la reunión de hoy día. Muchísimas gracias. Que tengan buenas noches.
Gracias, profesor, igualmente. Buenas
Hasta
noches.
luego.
Hasta luego.